Hi and welcome back. Today's video is going to be my sign off of the Lumix S1H. So for those of you that haven't seen, a few weeks back I was sent a Lumix S1H by Panasonic. They said use it as you would and see what you think of it. So I've had 2 weeks with it and there's been some ups, there's been some downs. Photography, it's a more than capable camera. On the video side of things, it is amazingly capable. On the vlogging side of things, as you'd see if you watched my last video, that I'll put a link for up here, it had some real issues focusing on my face when I was wearing a cap. So the camera itself, this is an absolute beast. Now, I went at first with the S1H because I do a bit of a mix of video and photo, and so it gave me all the photo options of the S1, and it gave me that high resolution mode that I've used a lot. That if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen quite a few high resolution photos. You'll have seen how I've used it to manage to get long exposure photos of waterfalls without needing to use an ND filter or have really long exposure times. You'll have seen how I've used it in all sorts of different environments. I've been out in the middle of a storm, I've been using it with waves crashing over the top of me, I've been climbing down waterfalls with it, I've been doing everything really that I could chuck at the camera. And there hasn't been a time that on the camera side of things that this hasn't performed. It's been fantastic. Now, if you compare that to my daily camera, what's a Canon, the only thing that I would say the Canon has advantage over the Panasonic is the autofocus. You'll have seen from the videos that I've done last week, I had a little bit of a drama at the end with the autofocus as I was walking through the storm, going back home, vlogging, holding the camera, and it just would not focus on my face. I didn't have the luxury of re-recording because by the time I found that out, I was at home and it wasn't the storm. So I had to question myself, do I want to re-record that sat here, or do I just use the footage that I've got, and the footage that I've got is an example of what this produces? And I decided that that was the way to go forward. Other than that, the video side of this camera is superb. You cannot fault it. So as for lenses, Panasonic sent me with the camera a 24-105, a 50mm and a 70-200. This is being recorded at the minute on the 24-105 and it's a phenomenal lens, absolutely phenomenal lens. I've done the majority of my photography using this lens and the 70-200. The 70-200 again, absolutely brilliant lens, fantastic. The 50mm is great. Obviously, being fixed focal length, you have to be a lot more deliberate in what you're taking. I found that for vlogging, it just wasn't going to work. And for landscape, really, it wasn't going to work either. So I actually ended up where that 50mm lens was used for a couple of close-up shots, and it never really came out of the camera bag since. I found that everything that I needed to do could be done on this, the 24-105 or the 70-200, and that's what I've stuck with. I've actually, as the week progressed, I've found myself leaning more away from the 70-200 and using this lens really on the camera at all times. What's really opened my eyes a bit, because on my Canon, my most popular lenses of choice are all, it is either my 50mm fixed or it's my 70-300mm. and they are the lenses that I pretty much live with all day, every day. So this has really sort of given me some different shooting options that I've really enjoyed using. So on the photography side of things, this camera does absolutely everything that you would want it to do. Its high resolution mode produces stunning quality photos. The standard photos that it creates are absolutely amazing. There is no issue at all with them. The quality that I've managed to get has been absolutely beautiful, and I can't fault it in any way, shape or form. Now, I am sure there'll be people out there that say that something like Canon EOS R, that other companies, really high-end mirrorless full-frame cameras have got this that's better, have got that that's better. You know what, the only thing that I could find that I didn't think was as robust was the autofocus. But hey, Canon are renowned for their autofocus. Well, if you take the autofocus away from the Canon, I don't see where they can be competing against anybody else's cameras, in all honesty. And by all means, Canon, send me something, give me the same type of time as Lumix have with this, and prove me wrong. But at the minute, I don't think that Panasonic have done anything wrong with this camera. Now, if you're wanting to use it for video, this is where it becomes a very different world. The 6K video is silky smooth, but beware, if you don't have an absolute powerhouse of a PC, you are going to really take a lot of time and patience in making videos. I was putting out 2 to 5 minute 6K videos of waterfalls, of the sea, of low light conditions in a harbour. Those videos were taking half an hour to 40 minutes to render at 5 minutes long. The file sizes were 2 gig for a 5 minute long video. If you don't have the full workflow to manage 6K, then don't get this camera thinking it's going to get me into the 6K world. Heck, don't even be thinking about entertaining 8K, because you'll see some manufacturers at the minute are touting that they're going to be releasing 8K cameras very soon. I tell you what, it's going to be great having an 8K camera, but you're never going to take it out of 4K mode because you aren't going to be able to edit the files. They literally are that big. My PC is new. It has everything that a video producer would want on it. And it was still taking me up to half an hour to 40 minutes to render 5 minute long 6K films. I have the patience to do it. The computer will happily sit there and render it, but be aware, don't just think you're going to be able to pick up this camera and start using 6K on it. Now, take the camera back to 4K or high frame rate 1080p, and that is where this really shines. The footage that I was able to get at 1080p in really high frame rate, once slowed down, was beautiful. I was recording at 100 frames per second and I slowed that down right to 29% so that it fit into a 30 frames per second sequence. And it was beautiful, silky smooth, the quality was there, it was absolutely amazing. Even slowing it down lower to 20 frames per second, it's still absolutely beautiful and buttery smooth. At 4K, the quality is there, it is absolutely amazing, and there's a lot more usability for it. Now, don't get me wrong, if you want a hybrid camera and you lean more to wanting to record video and short movies in a nice, easy to use form factor, I would highly recommend the S1H because it is phenomenal. It's got Netflix certification. it'll record in 6K and it'll do it easily. The dual memory card slots mean that you can really do a day's worth of recording on it and not having to muck about with memory cards that can cost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds, like on something like the Canon 1DX. Is amazing, because let's be honest, if Panasonic have managed to make these Lumix cameras record 6K and do it onto a standard SD card where you can get 128 gigs for 30-40 pounds, then why do all the other manufacturers seem to think that you need to have a memory card where that same amount of storage is £600 or £700? Because I can't work it out. Either Panasonic know witchcraft, or the other manufacturers don't want to abandon a card that they know they've pushed on people and people are having to buy into it and spend a lot of money. And if they now just go, you know what, you can do this now on an SD card, is it going to wind a lot of people up who've invested massive, massive amounts of storage money into these cards that just aren't needed? So with all that in mind, it's a fantastic bit of kit. This camera has really, really opened my eyes to what type of versatility you can get from a camera. I started vlogging on a Canon 250D. The price difference between them is massive. Now the 250D for vlogging, unfortunately, in my opinion, is better. But for everything else, it isn't. And that's to be expected. Not necessarily to be expected on the vlogging side of things, because let's be honest, this is a video camera. It's not just a camera, it's a video camera. It's designed to make films on and be versatile while it's doing it. But it weighs that much, and the lenses weigh that much, and with that little niggly autofocus issue, the 250D was just a more comfortable form factor to use for vlogging. So then you have to ask yourself, if you're looking for a camera just for vlogging, maybe you should just be getting a basic camera that's going to record good quality. If you're looking for something to record films on, this is the camera to go for, I would say. There's not a thing wrong with it. It is absolutely perfect for it. And once you start looking and start putting film lenses onto it, the quality is just going to be absolutely fantastic. So while I've had the camera, I have had the opportunity, like I say, to shoot in all sorts of different places, and it's been great. Now, one of the bonuses that I have is that I spoke with Panasonic about it, and I said, hey, you know what, there's a couple of things that I haven't really been able to do with this, but after using it, I think that maybe the S1R would be a better option for me. So guess what? This is my last video on the S1H, because the S1R arrives next week. So for more videos on the Lumix and on how they perform and what they do, stay tuned, because as of next week I'm going to be doing some 40 megapixel plus pictures of landscapes and waterfalls and all the stuff that everyone who follows me on Instagram loves. As I always say, please like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate it. From me now, I want to say thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.